Hey guys, here it is. The video you guys all been waiting for. 2 days in the working. I'm only 2 days of me not playing any demons in Geometry Dash, but here it is. But Artificial Ascent video. Now these videos I do with levels like Artificial Ascent, they're gonna be more of explaining the journey, the troubles I had, and then explaining the level. But with like beginner tier extremes, it's just gonna be explaining the level and sharing some like notable information. Those will be short. Like the Allegiance one that I'm gonna have once I beat it is gonna be like 5 minutes long. It's gonna be like really short because there's nothing really for me to say about Allegiance, saying like big or anything. It's just some random ass completion. But yeah, we're gonna explain my troubles for Artificial Sun. So it started, and actually I'll check when I started Artificial Ascent, so I can actually check because I did a upload. Well, I have a 64 to 100 on my PC. So it was November 27th, 2026. Well, 2025. I started playing Artificial Ascent the day before I got Etzer to 100. I was just like, why not play some Artificial Ascent? I'm like I want to try out. Like I wanted to try out the level to see. Am I really sure? And then after like 10 minutes, I got Terra to 100, and I was like, oh, okay, kind of consistent. And then 15 minutes later, around that time, I got Galvatron to 100. I was like, okay, so that was kind of free. I didn't realize the last quarter was like really consistent. And then trouble started when I tried to get Serpunged to 100. The part wasn't really that hard. It was just there was this bug they had at the very last slope at Terran's part, where sometimes if you don't click, you just die to a bug, and that would have been really bad if it was from zero. I'm saying one thing. I was thinking about dying at 97 in Artificial Ascent when that happened. Like when I got 77 to a 97. Because I was thinking, yo, I'm probably going to die to the bug from zero. But then I figured out a strat where I could just click on the slope and then I would not die. So for me, it really helps me just, um, like it just helps me like get consistent at the last quarter so I don't die to any bugs. Um, and then after I got Sir Punch 100, actually after not doing the strats, I kind of got lucky. I tried to do speed to 100. I think I got like speed to like 97 like 3 times that day, and I just quit because I was tired. And then the day later, I found out a strat I could just click during the slope, and I would survive. And turns out it actually did work very well, and it made artificial ascent, way more consistent. And then I tried to get speed to 100, and after like 10 minutes, I got speed to 100. And I was like, damn, okay. And then I tried to get Etzer to 100, which I actually did that day, and I was the one I had recorded. I was like, bro, artificial ascent's actually kind of free. I didn't realize before the second half artificial ascent is probably one of the most consistent nerve control parts I ever play. Like it's just very consistent, but you also got to deal with a whole bunch of nerves. That's in my opinion what makes artificial ascent second half so good. The first half is terrible. It relies way too much on choke points that are like horrible. And it's really Michigan as a choke point. So outside of that, if you exclude Michigan, honestly, the first half is honestly very easy. It's probably because I did master the parts. Like I mastered every single part in Artificial Sun except Michigan. Because I knew I'd never be consistent at Michigan. Um, and the second half does not rely on any choke points. It's just test your consistency and nerve control. Which in total, I think I died to the second half in Artificial Sun from zero only 3 times, which is insane because Artificial Sun's second half is not known for being easy. But it reminds me of Bloodbath. Bloodbath, I barely died the second half. I think it was like 5, 6 times. Which normally you're gonna be dying there like 10, 9 times. So me dying there like half the amount of times a normal person died there is like insane. Like I'm gifted in second halves and levels where I'm just so good at them. And um with artificial ascent, I used the strategy I used for bloodbath and then blade of justice and a thanatos, where I would get speed to 100 every day for artificial ascent. Every day, the best run I'd get that isn't, an unexpected run or the one new best run I was aiming for. Outside of those, I just try to get speed 100 every day, so I'd master and get super consistent at speed. Which honestly, it's a great strat. It's a strat no one's used because I did it for Bloodbath and I got super consistent at parts passive Asium. And I did it for Blade of Justice and I got very consistent with the parts past the mini wave after the duel. And then I did it for Thanatos and then it was 68 doing 100 and then I ended up fluking it from 70. An artificial sun, I said I got a mini fluke. The reason why I call it a mini fluke is I fluked basically the entirety of speed outside of the diagonal straight fly ship. I basically fluked the rest past those parts, and then I fluked Serpunch, Galvatron, and Terran, which is unheard of sometimes. But it's definitely a very uncommon occurrence because artificial sun's known for being very nerve wracking. And but I ended off day two artificial sun getting at certain 100, and day three I wanted to get Nazgub to 100. I think if I'm correct, maybe I got the Mandela effect. I think I wanted to get Nazgub to 100. So I thought, Nazgub's really easy. So I could just, have her at stalls and then I'd get the Abstract Dark, which Abstract Dark was when I started to learn Artificial Ascent ain't free. It is not a free level. It is a very difficult level. There's a reason why it was like, I think back in the day, I think it was like 408 on the list. There was a reason why it is there. And it's that, 2.5 minutes long, choke point heavy, uh, also very boring level. Because I'm telling you one thing, that first half's probably the most boring first half I've ever played. To be more specific, the parts before Zobros, they're just so boring. Because I get there a million times. Codex honestly makes me depressed. Because I'm like, bro, like, can I just beat the level already? And thankfully, I did beat it before shit could get worse, which honestly, I felt like it could have actually gotten worse because I was just not feeling it the day I beat Artificial Sun. But I'll get to that later. But I ended it off day three with, I think, only getting Abstract Dark to 100. So then day four came by. I wanted to get Nazgub to 100. And eventually, after like 30 minutes of trying, I did get Nazgub to 100. And then I wanted to see the second, well, the first half. So I tried Whammix part, and I didn't realize there was a bug in it that actually related to the FPS. Strangely, I actually found that out on the very last day of me playing Artificial Ascent, that it related to the FPS, and that might have also related to the slope bug at the very end. But I was just not trying to like mess with that part because I did not want to die at 97 in Artificial Ascent. I've seen people die at 97 either because he missed a jump pad, or one guy he missed I think either missed or clicked the green orb too late. Because you basically have to buffer the two orbs. But on that day, I think it was day four, I did get Nazgul to 100, tried out Whammix part and realized the ball is actually kind of hard. It's like, ooh. And then I tried to get Lugia to 100, which Lugia, it didn't include the ship, but it didn't include the wave at Lugia. Honestly, I think I might have gotten that to 100, or I think it was made the day after. I gotta check the dates. I do have the video still, so I'm gonna check real quick. So when I got 45 to 100, one was that. So first of all, 58 to 100. Got that on November 29th. And then Lugia to 100 is November 30th. So it was literally the day after. And I was like, whoa, I already got the second half of Artificial Sun completed in 5% of the first half. That's insane. Is it because I'm gifted as a player? To be brutally honest, it's because the second half is very consistent. That's the scariest part about these extreme demons. They look really easy. Like, oh, I can do them. And then with artificial ascent, you get the Michigan, and get the Anthrax, and get the Zobros. And you're like, oh, so that's why it's number 420 on the list, which coincidentally on the weed number. And I basically was not actually on weed, but felt like I was on weed playing artificial ascent because how like just off the rails it looks. And fun fact about artificial ascent, my favorite part of the song is actually at Heinz's part. Heinz and Zobros's. They have a very good part of the song. Like if I recommend listening to Surface. It's like a very good song by Dimrain 47 though. But like before it actually used to be Abstract Dark's part. No. It was actually Etcher's part. That was my favorite. Um, I recommend giving it a listen. Mainly the artificial ascent part of the song. Um, but on day 5, I think it was, I tried to get Viper in 100. This is when things started to look bad for the level. On day 5, I did not get 40 to 100. I didn't. I was like, oh my god, but is this level actually really hard? And I ended off that day, I think maybe with Viper, and I think the maybe Speed, um, which is like a fine run. But on day 6, I did eventually. And actually, after this, I'm not gonna start numbering the days because this is when like it starts to get confusing. But on day 6, I did get Viper in 100. I was actually in a call with someone, and uh actually the day before on day 5, I was on a call with someone trying to get Viper in 100, but that kind of stopped me from like trying to get good at Viper because I just kind of was goofing around with them. But on day 6, that was when I really locked in, and I eventually did get Viper in 100, which is 40 to 100, which is not too shabby. Um, and then on day 7, I think it was this is the time I realized why artificial ascent is so hard. It's not because of Zentix parts. I did try to get. I think it was. Let me check. Um, because I did put the start pause on the ship for extra percentages. But yeah, 32 to 100. I was like, oh no, that's Anthrax 100. Yeah, 35 to 100. I remember that day that I was trying to get Zentic to 100. It was very bad. Like I think it took me like 3 days in total to get Zentic to 100. And I just got really mad. I got Zentic to the Terran ship, not the dual ship, but the diagonal straight fly one. I got pissed, and you can even see in the Zentic to 100 run, you could see me getting like super like clunky at the shit. Which surprisingly, that was the only time it ever happens. That was the only time that I ever got like that's the only time I really started nervously clicking at the second half of Artificial Ascent. Outside of the times I get the Etzer, and that's like when I start shivering, getting really scared because it's Artificial Ascent. I don't need to explain why. But eventually, I did get Zenthic to 100 on the third day of trying to get Zenthic to 100, and I was like, "Yo, bro, 35 to 100, bro, 65% artificial ascent done." But this, I keep saying it, this is the time I basically almost quit artificial ascent. It was when I tried to get Michigan 100. I was saying, "Yo, try to get Anthrax 100." Well, back in the day, I kind of had an ego. I had a really big ego. Thought, yo, bro, I can probably get Michigan 100. Anthrax ain't that bad. I'm just probably gonna get Anthrax with time. Turns out, I needed to master Anthrax. And yeah, by those last few days, Anthrax turned out to be a free part. But for these first few days of me trying to get good at Anthrax, it was really hard. And eventually, I did. Barely got any progress from Michigan. So then I basically quit the level and started playing Astral Divinity. And then eventually I quit that level too, which don't worry, that's coming back. It ain't done. It's just, I wanted to play something better, which I thought was Astral Divinity, and turns out it wasn't. It was actually worse. Um, so after like a week or two, I quit Astral Divinity and came back right to Artificial Sun, which fun fact, I was bored that day. I was like, oh, I want to do something. So I decided to play Artificial Sun, and then I got Anthrax to 96, and that's when I hit my hand on a stereo device, and that's when it started to bleed. Yeah, I legit got an injury. I am not showing it because, I don't show gore. It's like let me check. Yeah, it's basically fully healed, but still, bro. I do have one on my like very right finger, my pinky finger. Um, because I forgot. No, actually, it was because of Future Demoness. That was why. So I detached one of the parts of my save device, so I thought, yo, give me better at the game. Not, it didn't. It didn't give me better. It just got me another injury in my hand. I'll show you. I have the part right here, so I'm gonna attach it right onto my save device, just so I don't have to cut my hand again. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Okay, there it is. So now it's on. So I don't cut my hand anymore. I don't get cuts anymore. But I think I got like that cut 3 times in total. Two were from Artificial Ascent, and one was from Future Demoness. That's because I died to the last jump. What, the second to last jump, I think it was. No, it was actually the last jump. No, it was the second to last jump. Yeah, I'm stupid, bro. Oh, I hate Future Demoness though. Like, fuck that level. That level is shit, bro. Level is legit bottom of the barrel. Stereo Demoness is like amazing compared to Future Demoness, and Stereo Demoness still sucks. Fun fact: I actually had to beat Future Demoness at 240 FPS instead of 60, because at 60 it actually made the jump a lot harder. If it turns out 60 hertz, even with CBF, makes timings a lot harder, then I would just have to switch back to 240. But it seems like I probably won't. It was like only like the thing with Future Demoness, which hopefully it just was, because I ain't dealing with that trash ever again. And back with the Artificial Ascent. Um, when I came back, I got Anthrax in '96, got the cut on my hand, which I died to the ship duel because it was like all over the place or something. I forgot exactly why. I was like, yo, I'm back. I'm back to playing this level, even though I hated it. The day after, I got Anthrax to 100. I was like, yay! And then the day after, I got Michigan to 100 out of nowhere. I was like, holy shit, I already got Michigan to 100? Which, um, fun fact, those are basically flukes. Those are kind of flukes because of like either my worst death was at speed or parts before speed, and like what if it was at speed, it was like early on the speed, which kind of was foreshadowing. But after I got Michigan 100, I stayed away from Artificial Ascent after trying to like practice the parts before Michigan. Like I learned Zobros, and that's really all that happened. But the day I really started trying to play Artificial Ascent from zero, um, that was when I started locking in. And I'll skip to the time I started playing from zero because the parts like when I was learning the parts before Zobos were like really boring. But I was really struggling on the Sanic wave, which honestly it's not even that hard. It just kind of becomes muscle memory. But like I was struggling with the Sanic wave and the Heinz wave because they're all like mega inconsistent, but eventually they did become very consistent and like really easy. But I also heard of old artificial sun. I am never beating that shit because I don't want to get PTSD. Yeah, I do in fact have PTSD from artificial sun, but not like major. It's like low tier PTSD. But I did um eventually learn the beginning. And the first day I played from zero, I died to the middle of Zolbros. And that day, I actually wanted to get to, I think it was Michigan. I didn't. I did playing for like 2 hours, which you'll see. Artificial Sun. Every day, I basically played for 2.5 hours, which is really why I don't like playing these XLOs. That's why you're never going to see me do something like low death, because those streams are more like not streams, no those sessions, they're gonna become like 2.5 hours. And I've seen with a Thanatos, that level's only like a minute and 10. And those streams, well, I mean those sessions, I always get confused with streams. Those sessions were like an hour and a half. That's why I like playing these shorter levels. I don't spend 2.5 hours every day on them because it kind of gets depressing, especially something like with low death, where I don't know. I'm still deciding if I should do it, but it's leaning more towards a no. It's literally like 10 spots below stereo extremeness. which would be my second hardest. So low death would actually be my third hardest. It's 3 minutes long, contains some of the worst, most clunky gameplay I've ever seen, and it's generally boring. I've beaten High Life and then an easy version of Low Death. Those are probably the closest you ever see me doing Low Death, unless if I have an epiphany or something and start doing um Low Death. But you'll probably never see it because I don't like it. I hate the level. It's literally around Zodiac length. That's what makes it so boring because I'm not playing a 3 minute level. If I was like Vortrax and fluked it from 56, then yeah, actually maybe. If like some gods told me I'd fluke it, then yeah, maybe I'd actually start doing low death. Um, but back to artificial ascent. The second day of me playing from zero, I did get the Michigan, but I think my best run for that day was I think at the either the first jump or the no, actually I got past Michigan that day, and I died like to the middle of Anthrax. But then, the third day playing from zero, if I'm correct, this was the day that I did this fluke on Artificial Sun. Um, it was just a normal day. I was getting pissed playing Artificial Sun, pretty normal. Um, and then I got past Anthrax, and then I got a new best at the ship at Zenthic, which is not that hard. And then, like 10 minutes after that, I got a new best at the Blue Orbs in Zenthic, which actually made me do the swag route at Zenthic that you actually see in the video. And then after that, I got a new best on the UFO, which if some of the information is wrong, is because I'm literally going out of memory. Legit, I'm going by memory. But I do have a lot memorized from Artificial Ascent because it's just that iconic for me. But then I got a new best at the Zenthic UFO. I was like, oh my god, bro, come on. Just fucking stop dying here, bro. But then, on that same day, I got past Anthrax. I fluked all the way to the cube in Abstract Dark. Just like, what the fuck? And, like, fun fact, I never even died at Whammock at all from zero. And I even died to the parts, like, I did not die to the part, like, the ship part. Let me start over. I did not die at all to the parts past the ship part in Lugia, which is insane. It's also still pretty difficult. And Whammock has that ball I don't like. The one's the very repetitive clicks. That one. So as soon as I got 58 or the 59 in artificial sense, I was like, damn, bruh. Oh my god. It actually might be wraps for this level. I actually might be able to beat it. The day after, though, from zero, it was a very boring day. I got the Lugia twice and died at the ship because I realized I didn't have to microclick, which actually mean microclicking it made it harder. But something really big happened on that day. I got Michigan 100 again, which really proved to me, hey, you can beat Artificial Ascent. You just have to try and get lucky. Because Artificial Ascent, I'll say it's like a dice. A lot of these insane demons I'm playing, they're also like a dice. Like they really just kind of have to get lucky. Hypersonic, which I actually been playing, got 20. I think it was 29 on 100 and 63%. That was like a fluke from like 15 or something. That um also kind of has like a dice roll beginning, like before you get to Rustum. I don't really like it at all because that mini wave is so bad. Um, but then let's go back to Artificial Scent. The day after I got Michigan 100 again, I got 71% artificial scent, which is at speed. I was like, holy shit. Oh my god. I'm very consistent this level. And then like the the attempt I said that this like this will be the last there'll be one more Michigan pass and after that I'm done for the day. Somehow something unlocked in me and I got 68, which really was because I was super nervous and like paranoid. And that day was actually really good. And then the day after, if I'm correct, it was I let me memorize it. Yeah, I think it was the day after. Now let me remember. I think if I'm correct. Oh, it was actually the day after I got 59. I got the speed, and then the day after that, I got Michigan 100 again. So just rephrase it. The day after I got 59%, I got 71%. And then the day after I got 71%, I got Michigan 100 again. And then the day after was the day I beat Artificial Ascent. I was just a very normal day. I think I got the Zenthic like once, and then I passed all the hard parts, and then I fluked all the way to me beating Artificial Ascent. And now let's talk about the mental troubles. Really, I'm gonna keep it kind of short, um, because it's not. I'm not saying that wasn't a lot. That there was a lot, but it was just kind of very repetitive in terms of what happened. Like I was just the level's 2.5 minutes long, so I was like depressed. I was like, yo, why am I playing Artificial Sun? I could have just followed us out with a Thanatos and quit. Just quit the game after being a Thanatos. But honestly, I'm glad I made the decision not to. Because I feel like a Thanatos is like something I can easily do. It was easily in my skill level. Yet Artificial Scent, it was something I was very uncomfortable with, which was XL levels that were like 2.5 minutes long. Even though the gameplay itself is something I'm very familiar with. So I always chose like free 2.1 levels because honestly they're better. Because the 2.1 levels and above suck. So I was not choosing those garbage. Um and then but Artificial Ascent, I was very like the first like 5 minutes I was like, okay, just let's get it over with. It'd always be like a big run to 100, and then whenever I was playing from zero, nothing would happen. Well, actually, for the first few minutes, I actually got really good progress, and after that, nothing happened. I got depressed, and then I was just not happy. And and the last big thing I had to deal with, um, was the quitting part. I quitted Artificial Scent because I was just very depressed. I was not. It was mainly due to the level. I wasn't depressed IRL. It was just more like they call level depression. Like your mood instantaneously changes when you're playing Artificial Sun. Well, me, my mood would always change. The days when I'd be playing Artificial Sun, the most that I have is just it'd be in my head. Like I had that with the Hell Factory. I think I had to go to someone's birthday party, and then also went someone's house. Um, And both of those days, I was playing the Hell Factory. I had to do the Hell Factory. Um, so and during those days, I was not thinking of, oh, you got to do the Hell Factory. Remember? It's just the days I was just alone, doing nothing, probably watching YouTube. It was like, yo, you're supposed to do the Hell Factory tomorrow, and I'm like, oh god, artificial sun. It just kind of didn't really happen, and but I did quit the level because for a while because I was not feeling happy. I was just I didn't like it. And I'll admit this level is like a C plus. The reason why it is now like a D is because Etzer's part and the song completely saves the level. And really the second half saves the level from being garbage. So the first half is so boring and so unbalanced. But yeah, that's the mental part. So now what I'm gonna do is we're going to go to we're gonna analyze artificial scent. So I'll see you there. Okay, so now we are in with showcasing the difficulty of artificial scent, analyzing the difficulty. It's gonna be a lot shorter than the previous section where I was just talking about the level itself. Because this is 2.5 minutes long, so I'm gonna have to kind of make it a little quick. So let me make sure I'm recording. I am. So Codex, it's like it's like super easy to be honest. It's the most boring part. It's just the part that is just boring, generic. It's just bad. mainly from playing from zero. I really gotta say about Codex. It's just nothing much. But then get to Manix. I don't like the mini wave. This ship has horrible balance because it literally uses fixed hitboxes. You gotta be kidding me, bro. In this ship, it's terrible. They use fixed hitboxes, but it's not that hard. This cube, mad easy. And this shit, you literally have to hold except to this click once you become mini. But it's not that hard. This ball, once you know what you're doing, it is mad easy, bro. This ship, a little tough, but eventually does become consistent. This cube, it's the part you want to do swag routes on, so it becomes easier. Sanic, I don't really like this ship. This ship is just hilariously unbalanced. And then this ball part, eh, it's a little awkward, but it just kind of just you get good at it with time. And then the orb's not that hard. This duel, I don't really like the just how luck based it is, but that's all I gotta say about it. As UFO, it's just like the UFO. You can either hit the right setup gravity port and die to the spike on top, or I even had in some cases where I don't even know why I just died because I hit the orb. So I had to learn like a specific transition to it. It's so easy though. It's just a little weird. And actually, one thing I forgot to say about artificial, and I actually turn off particles, basically all particles, because Michigan's part was basically blind. You might call me a cheater, but why aren't others calling other top players cheaters for not using particles? Like, then you would have to call them out too. But back to artificial, the speed of the Sanic robot's not hard. This wave used to be really hard, but until I learned like a specific alignment, which actually is a lot easier than it sounds, after that it's just basically Sanic became kind of free. This Q part's easy. I don't know. I was dying there a lot. Heinz wave, it's a little difficult, but it's not that bad. This ball part inconsistent. Well, more like not inconsistent, like awkward timings. I hate these blue orbs though. They're like mad inconsistent. Either my cube jumps and misses the last one, or it hits it just fine. Legit, I was puzzled all the time playing this part in Heinz. This ship, I don't like how there's basically fixed hitboxes, but it's okay. The green orb's not that bad. This cube, easy. Even this time is actually kind of easy. This mini ship, well, the Zobro ship, it looks hard, but once you learn it and become consistent at it, to be honest, it is very easy, bro. Like, it becomes super consistent with time. Like, all these parts before this are very easy. This is so easy. It's just not that. It's just a little clunky. This UFO, it's just a little weird, but it becomes consistent with time. This first jump, I despise it because it is one of the only clicks in Geometry Dash that is a 50-50. You have to do a coin flip. Hope you don't die there. This jump ain't that bad. These blue orbs, Satan made them. I hate these blue orbs because they either work or they don't work. Either my cube goes super fast when it's a blue orb or it goes just fine. These orbs, I remember having a tough time learning them on Terrabilis. You could just spam them, and it, after that, it was really easy. I hate this triple because it's basically, if you, it's like basically a normal ass triple for 2 times speed. Well, actually, if you really think about it, it's actually more like a buffed triple. If you really think about it, because this is 2 times speed, and the normal triple they have is four spikes, and this they're a little further apart. So actually, technically, it's actually a buff triple. If you really think about it, so that's insane, bro. I thought it was like a normal ass triple, but it turns out it really wasn't, bro. It's literally just buffed. This orb easy. I don't know. I was struggling on it before, like I was starting to play from zero. Anthrax. It's just it's not that bad. It's kind of free when you get consistent and master it. But before you do that, it's very difficult because I can't see shit. I legit cannot see shit. I hate these slopes. So I had to learn a strat where I had to do one marker click and then start holding for a little bit, and then I'd straight fly. This part's auto. This cube part's not that bad. This ship, not that bad. This cube, not that bad. This UFO, it's probably the hardest part about Zentic by far. It's very spammy, super inconsistent. This ball, I hate the green orb, and that's literally all I remember about it. This wave, mad easy, bruh. This cube, easy once you know what you're doing. This ship, easy. If you don't microclick though. This wave, not that bad. This UFO, easy. This ship, actually kind of hard though. This cube, easy. This ball part, actually really hard, especially with nerves. This robot, easy. The entire Nazgub is mad easy. But this, well, actually, more like when I get the Lugia, that's when I really start building nerves. Um, but then you get the first jump of Abstract Dark, which is like really hard because it is essentially another buffed triple if you're a big cube. Well, in mini cube, it's basically buffed. It's like really difficult. This orb, really weird. These two jumps, I hate them. And not actually that jump that my cube just jumped by was the one. It was how I got 59. These two orbs, just you do a rhythm and they're easy. This green orb, easy. These two orbs, literally spam. This ball part, you literally spam. These two, the green and the blue orb, like the one in the cube, you just do a rhythm. And then this UFO, weird. I'll say the click pattern is very awkward, but it becomes very consistent. And then this ship, I hate it because you literally cannot see the spikes. So you just kind of have to hope and pray they don't die there. But Abstract Dark, it's very consistent. Like I just found it to be super consistent. By like those last few days, I was not down in Abstract Dark. It was just really easy, and I kept an Abstract Dark to 100, bro. Etzer, this ship is honestly the hardest part because how awkward it is. This UFO easy. This wave is either it's the ship or the wave that is the hardest part. The wave is super weird and I don't like it. Also, I just found a almost died part in this. Yeah, you could tell. Very nervous. This ball, unless your name is Vortrox, and it's very easy. This cube, I hate these jumps. They literally don't work sometimes. This ship, I had to learn a strat when I watched Anubis's video of analyzing Artificial Ascent, how it's like a Cataclysm remake. I saw him do this like one click on it, but you do like a micro click, and you kind of time the green orb, and you only have to do those spammy ass clicks, which actually made speed a lot easier. So what that strat actually made the chip kind of easy. This cube, this blue orb used to be like really hard, like the one inside the gravity portal. But I just learned you just got to time the click. But it's still very awkward though. This UFO, very awkward. I do not like it. This green orb, you have to time it or else you die. This part's easy. This wave, easy. This cube, outside of this jump, it is very easy. Serpunge is very easy. It's just not that bad. But these like the parts past like Nazgub, they're very hard with nerves. This is what I mean by the second half. It's just a whole bunch of nerve control. It's very easy. It's just it requires a whole bunch of nerve control. Galvatron, which I'm about to get to, is very easy. But with nerves, it's very difficult. Like the parts before Galvatron. And then Terran, it is probably either Terran or Speed that is the hardest part with nerves. Terran, you have to do like it's very picky, bro. You have it's like this part is so picky. The ship is easy, but the duels are super picky, especially this, bro. You literally kind of have to get a bit lucky, and then after that, it's the end. And yeah, that's my monkey ass reaction because I was so shocked that I beat Artificial Ascent. And yeah, that is Artificial Ascent. Turns of difficulty. I'll see you at the conclusion. So, in conclusion, Artificial Ascent, in my opinion, is a very like fun level for the second half. The first half is legit dog shit. I hate it. And I also started playing a bit of Artificial Ascent because of Juex too. I was like, damn, bro, this guy's actually kind of getting a progress. This is John from Bloodbath. Um, I basically kind of cucked him. He was playing Artificial Ascent for like I think if I'm correct, like 5 months, and then I came by, swooped in, and beat the level as a mini fluke from 71 while his best is 88, which I saw that death. legit, bro's probably garbage at the game, bro. That UFO is mad easy, but I saw the click pattern he was doing, and I legit think it's like the worst click pattern I've ever seen in this game. Legit, the click pattern I've seen people do on the Galvatron UFO is legit dog shit. Except mine. So I follow the music. I go dun 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 dun. You know, like the little beats you can hear in the song at the Galvatron UFO, which became very consistent. I remember I was actually I was watching Jux2. Like I was on that specific stream that got 88 on. I was like, yo, is he actually about to do it? And then he died at 88, bro. Legit, bro. I feel bad for that guy, but like Jux2, like he's jumping from Bloodbath to Artificial Ascent while I'm just jumping from a Thanatos to Artificial Ascent, and then I beat it in like 2 months. Almost like 1.5 months, bro. That's like insane, bro. That's like, in my opinion, like I think the average time I spend on an extreme demon, but artificial ascent it's like averaged to like below average on time you spent. Because normally people do this shit in like 2 months. I beat it in a little less. Um, but I feel bad for Juex too. It's just I hope he actually does beat the level though. I've been very consistent at it though. I was very consistent artificial ascent. It was just kind of fit my skill boost. Well, skill level with him, it seems like it really didn't. I was like, when I heard Zoink was gonna make Juex2 do artificial scent after bloodbaths, like, yo, he ain't beating it, but like Juex2 ain't ever beating artificial scent. And yeah, it seems like I was maybe correct because he's super scared to play artificial ascent. But I'll see you guys. That's the artificial ascent video for you. And bye.